It's yours, all the glory, all the glory, all the glory, all the glory, all the glory. It's yours, it's yours, it's yours.
I had a dream this week. It was one of those that just would not go away. I almost wrote it and sent it to you. I probably should have. But in this dream, I was standing at a bridge to cross over. And it was not a solid bridge. It was not like a concrete bridge. It was a swinging bridge. And that bridge had boards there, so when the wind would blow, it was unstable. It was just not a stable place. And I was standing there, and I knew that I represented where the body of Christ was. And there was a decision on, am I willing to get on this bridge and cross over? You talked about a trench, and it wasn't a river underneath, but it was just a deep trench. And standing there, I knew that there were fears, there were anxieties, there were all of these things trying to hold back so that we could not cross over. And knowing that should you make that decision and stand on that bridge with those boards, that as the wind would blow, there would be the uncertainty. Am I going to make it across there? There were so many, and I think those boards represented whether it was fear, whether it was regrets, whatever it was. But there were things, those boards were trying to keep the body from making that decision and be willing and courageous enough to get on that bridge, to get on that swinging bridge, knowing that the winds would come, the storms would come, but the courage to keep going through all of that, the grace to make it to the other side, to be able to possess what God had for us. And it was such a strong dream, I could not get away from it.
Every one of those boards you step on, you gain a new level of faith and courage. You get closer and closer to, now remember that one statement I said, because they left Egypt out of bondage. They went into freedom, but they didn't go into promise. Tell somebody, I'm going to make it through this whole thing. I've watched people so much shift, want to shift, but never shift. And the Lord said, I'm drawing a line in the sand if you're going to make it. Now, I had to ask the Lord, what does that mean? Now, let me give you a definition of what that actually means. When that phrase comes, it means I'm laying down a challenge. It means I am providing a test of commitment for you. I'm creating a real or an artificial boundary. With God, it's going to be a real boundary, but you're going to have to step past your artificial boundary. I'm creating a distinction in you between double-mindedness. Because you say you love, but you have no action. I'm going to create a threshold where something becomes acceptable, but any threshold you have to step through. See, it becomes a real interesting phrase. It's not a biblical phrase per se, it is a biblical principle from Genesis to Revelation. It means to provoke a response. In other words, there's going to be an intensity of circumstances that provokes a response over where we really are. And then I'm going to determine the place where you cross over. See, that's what makes God sovereign. He has to determine that place.